Have you ever caught yourself saying a firmer no to your cat after seeing the couch scratched up or a plant knocked over on the floor? In those moments, it's totally normal to feel like scolding, and it's completely understandable. But does it actually help? In today's video, we're going to show you why scolding your cat might do more harm than good. We'll talk about what's really behind those behaviors, what science says about punishment, and most importantly, what you can do instead of yelling to improve your relationship and strengthen your bond with your feline friend. Stick with us until the end, because this video might just change the way you connect with your cat. Why scolding doesn't work. When a cat does something we don't like scratching the couch, jumping on the counter, breaking a vase, or knocking everything off a shelf, many pet parents' first reaction is to scold. Sometimes a shout, a firm no, a spray of water, or even a little push. But does that actually work? The truth is, for your cat, that kind of scolding doesn't make sense. Cats don't think in terms of cause and effect the same way humans do. They don't understand that they're being punished for something they did a few minutes ago. And more than that, they don't associate the behavior with the punishment the way we imagine they do. When you yell or act aggressively, what your cat perceives is that you're a threat. That triggers their defense instinct, not their learning instinct. It can lead to fear, stress, and over time, seriously damage the trust between you. Instead of learning what not to do, your cat learns to avoid you. Feline behavior science shows that verbal or physical punishment doesn't correct behavior. It only increases anxiety and can lead to new issues like aggression, withdrawal, or even health problems. Studies show that cats living in environments with frequent punishment tend to have higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, and show fewer bonding behaviors with their humans. In other words, scolding doesn't teach. It pushes them away. And most importantly, your cat isn't being stubborn or trying to challenge you. They're just following their instincts, exploring their environment, trying to communicate, or reacting to something that's bothering them. That's why scolding doesn't solve the problem. What really helps is understanding what's behind the behavior, and that's exactly what we'll talk about in the next section. Your cat isn't being spiteful. When your cat scratches the couch, jumps on the kitchen table, or pees outside the litter box, it's easy to think they're doing it on purpose. But the truth is, these behaviors make sense to your cat and are often a form of communication. Let's start with scratching. Cats scratch furniture for several natural reasons: to sharpen their claws, stretch their muscles, release stress, and most importantly, to mark territory. They have scent glands in their paws that release odor when they scratch, leaving a scent mark in the environment. This helps them feel more secure, especially in places with other animals or recent changes. In other words, the behavior is often a direct response to the environment, not a tantrum. Now, peeing outside the litter box is one of the most frustrating behaviors for cat guardians, but also one of the most misunderstood. According to experts, the most common causes include aversion to the litter box due to it being dirty, poorly placed, or having the wrong type of litter, as well as medical issues like urinary tract infections or cystitis, and emotional stress. In many cases, your cat is trying to tell you that something isn't right. Other behaviors, like climbing to high places, running around at night, or excessive meowing, also have natural explanations. Cats are crepuscular animals. They like to observe their surroundings from above, and they use meowing as a way to communicate with humans. Each tone and intensity can mean something different. The most important thing to understand is that your cat isn't trying to challenge you. They're simply expressing their needs, instincts, and often their discomfort. What we see as bad behavior is actually your cat trying to communicate. That's why, before scolding, the best thing to do is observe. Try to understand what's behind the behavior. When we shift our perspective from punishment to understanding, everything starts to improve. And in the next section, we'll show you what you can actually do to help your cat behave better without needing to scold. Instead of scolding, teach. Now that we understand scolding doesn't work and that your cat's behavior is a form of communication, the most important question is, what should you do instead? The good news is that there are much more effective and kind ways to handle these behaviors. Here are some tips that really work. Tip number 1. redirect the behavior. For example, if your cat is scratching the couch, place a scratching post nearby. And not just any post, choose one they actually like. Some cats prefer vertical posts, others horizontal ones. Tip number 2. Reinforce the good stuff. When your cat uses the litter box properly, plays with the scratching post, or behaves well, reward them with affection, a treat, or a gentle pet. Positive reinforcement is one of the most powerful tools in feline training, and it helps build positive associations with the behaviors you want to encourage. Tip number 3. Enrich the environment. A lot of unwanted behaviors come from boredom. Cats need both physical and mental stimulation. Interactive toys, climbing shelves, cardboard boxes, tunnels, and even a safe window view to watch the outside world can make a big difference. Tip number 4. Keep the litter box clean and accessible. It sounds simple, but it's essential. The litter box should be in a quiet spot, away from food and water, and cleaned daily. If your cat doesn't feel comfortable using it, they'll find another place. Tip number 5. Use the right tone of voice. If you need to correct something in the moment, use a firm no, but don't yell. A calm, direct tone is more effective than shouting, and it doesn't damage the trust between you. Tip number 6. Watch for health signs. Sudden changes in behavior can be a sign of pain, discomfort, or illness. If your cat starts acting unusually, it's worth checking in with a vet. Remember, the goal isn't to control your cat, but to understand what they need and offer healthy alternatives. When you respond with empathy and patience, behavior improves, and your bond grows even stronger. What your cat needs to be happy. After everything we've talked about so far, you might be wondering, what does my cat actually need to be happy? The answer might be simpler and deeper than it seems. Your cat needs to feel safe, to know that the environment they live in is stable, predictable, and free of threats. A safe place to rest and retreat. And that includes not just the physical space, but also the way you interact with them. They need freedom with boundaries, the ability to explore, climb, hide, and play. They need respect. Respect for their timing, their space, and their way of showing affection, which is often more subtle and quiet, but no less real. And above all, your cat needs you. Not your scolding, not your yelling, but your presence, your patience, your care. When you offer all of that, their behavior naturally improves. Now that you know that training your cat doesn't mean punishing them, it's easier to understand that the path to a peaceful life together isn't through scolding. It's through empathy, respect, and care. Tell us in the comments, what behavior did you used to think was your cat being naughty, but now you see it differently? We'd love to hear your story. If this video helped you see your cat's behavior in a new light, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps us keep creating content that makes a difference for people who love their pets. And to help you avoid reasons to scold your cat, we've got a video on the channel with simple, effective tips on how to care for the litter box. Just click right here. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.